What's up, guys? Happy Saturday. Chuck Silver and Jayhawk here with Occupy Fantasy. We're going to bring you the strategy for DraftKings and FanDuel. Interesting slate. We got some guys ruled out. We're going to have some teams missing. Slates are fun. Yesterday was another one where the top value, Jared Butler, got outdone by his own teammate, Doughton. But it's all right. We have a good one today. Jayhawk, how we doing?
Yeah, man, fun slate. Crazy day with college basketball about to hit March Madness, and we got NBA coming to a close here. But excited to break this down. Looks like a fun slate here.
Yeah. We got the Celtics playing in about 12 minutes, so that is not on the main slate if you're playing the showdown. I can show that real quick. We don't do a single game too much. If you want to sign up for the site, Occupy, we have plans starting at as little as $7 a week. That's $1 a day. It gets you access to all the plugs, all the write ups, and the model for all the sports that we offer it for. This is our single game model. Boston at Brooklyn. It looks like, we like Jason Tatum. Didn't Brown just got ruled in. Porzingis got ruled in. He's on a minutes limit though. If you're playing that, we only have him for 24. He's still showing up as a strong play. No Claxton, so Dayron Sharp is probably the chalk. Probably get him in every lineup. As for other cheap guys, Maxwell Lewis, yeah, Sharp is just the best play on the DK showdown. Keon Johnson looks good. He's starting. Basically, all the Brooklyn guys are mixed in. So go back to the main slate. Had a takedown on the night. Got first and second in a couple contests, so that was cool. Shake Milton over Jordan Goodwin was the key. So Austin Reeves put up like 100 fantasy points. That was fun to watch, even though we lost. Heath, how we doing? Landon, good to see you. Bop boys. Jose, you had a good one, man, yesterday. Your first question was about Dowden, and he was our third value on the model, but because he was behind Jared Butler, we didn't put him in the dummy. I hope you got there. That was a sharp call by you. But Jayhawk, what do you think? Is today's stars and scrubs, or were you building more balance so far?
Yes, I don't really have like a strong lean. I was kind of going more stars and scrubs, but I think there's enough like mid tier guys like Vassal and Castle. I think Vassal and Castle. You can also go in the mid tier. So I think it's kind of flexible either way. How about you?
It's Vassal and Cassell now on this show whenever I'm on, but it's weird. I'm looking at my top lineup, and it's Jokic and Scrubs. There's not another star. It has Jamal Murray. Everyone else is cheap. Champagne, Werder, Trey Jones are going to be popular. I'm getting to Jabari Smith. Kelly O's back. We'll see what we do with him in the Pelicans. Jaime Jaquez is going to be very popular. Jayhawk was hyping him up to me before the stream, right?
Yeah, looks like the chalkiest playing this lane.
No, he was more just asking, like, is this correct? Like, I don't know, dude. I guess we'll find out. Vassell looks pretty good today too. Yeah, it looks like I'm pretty stars and scrubs. We have the value on the Bulls and Jaime Jaquez, which opens up a lot. And then apparently we have Mo Bamba on the Pelicans for 3,200. So yeah, but the thing is, we have all three pay-ups on the slate: Giannis, Jokic, and SGA. And SGA is 41 minutes. I don't know if that's right, but yeah, we got three guys to pay up for. We have the value, so it looks like I'm probably leaning towards stars and scrubs. Bill, good to see you. I got the ringing going on again. I don't know, dude. I watched back the playback. I didn't hear anything. I guess I'll listen to it again. Appreciate you letting me know. They're saying the Mavs may have to forfeit games. They'll give them some kind of extensions or exceptions to sign guys off the street. They won't let them miss games. Because I was even thinking about this earlier. Who's paying to go to these games? Even if you already had the ticket, like, why would you even go? It's already a
Exactly.
sunk cost. It's over. Yeah, nice. Jose did get to Doughton. Yeah, man, that was he got there by halftime. That was super fun. So let's just go ahead and jump into this first game. We got OKC at Detroit. I meant to throw Cade Cunningham into that group of the three studs, but I guess Cat's actually higher than Cade on the model today. Start with the OKC side though. SGA, yeah, we haven't projected for 41 minutes. I'm not sure that that's accurate. Model might still be crunching. Yeah, I have him for like 6 minutes less, 35, 36 minutes. He still looks pretty good. I'm getting a bunch of him. Top play on the model, showing up as a strong value as our Aaron Wiggins, Lou Dort, and our boy Kason Wallace. So are you getting to Shea? And then what else do you like from OKC?
Yeah, so in terms of Shea, obviously the best producer here. I also am projecting him for like 35, 36 minutes. 41 seems crazy. And then you mentioned that I do love Case and Wallace with no Shet here and no Jalen Williams. I think he looks awesome for low on value. And then I do like mixing in some Blue Dort as well. 8% on DK, 42% on FanDuel. So big difference there. How do you feel about Lou Dort and the rest of the other guys here.
Well, I do like Kason. Model loves him today. Model loves Lou Dort too. Aaron Wiggins. They're all showing up for pretty decent ownership. I mean, I should say low. I like what the ownership looks like. Their prices are fine. Kason's the cheapest, so he's the guy that I'm getting the most to on DraftKings right now. Shooting guard is nice too. Over on FanDuel, yeah, it's Lou Dort that I'm getting the most of. He's the cheapest guy here. And so Model has them all pretty close. I would say on DK, these three in SGA are the priority. On FanDuel, focus on Aaron Wiggins, Lou Dort, and SGA. Then Kason Wallace is a little bit behind due to the salary difference on FanDuel. And then remember, they're without Chet and Jalen Williams. Isaiah Hartenstein's pulling 20% ownership on both sides pretty much, just under 7K. Model thinks he's a okay value, doesn't think he's bad, doesn't think he stands out. And then Isaiah Joe, I'll mention as a pivot to the other guys.
Yeah, I like that Joe call. 0% owned. He has a ceiling as well.
Here. Go to the other side with Detroit. Who's the top? So off index, we know it's going to be Cade. Showing up for sub 10% ownership, I'm always going to get over on him. I know it's a tough matchup against OKC, but it's only a 4.5 point spread, 233.5 point total. Cade's been most improved player in the NBA. I think we want to get there. He's borderline elite on DraftKings and ish too on a FanDuel. We're getting to Jalen Duren, and I always want to get over on Tobias Harris when he's around this 6K price. So on DK 2%, I think it's a little bit too low. You like those guys and anyone else you're looking at here?
Yeah, so I love Cade today. I'm kind of counting in the Azar matchup on SGA just a little bit. Not a ton because it's still SGA, but I think Cade at the ownership discount is huge. Obviously, decent spot here as well. So love Cade. And then I'm getting to some Duren here, 9% owned. I think he makes sense as like a good GPP play as well.
On that Asar Thompson note, I mean, we haven't projected for 20 minutes. He's an above average defender, but we're talking about the MVP of the NBA, so I'm not making any adjustments because of Asar Thompson on the other side. Like, if anything, as a team, Detroit has a strong defense, and so maybe there, but that's already built into the model, and SGA is the top. But keep in mind his minutes were too high, so we'll see if it comes down a bit. Were you going to get to Malik Beasley at all, assuming he's coming off the bench?
Yeah, I think he's okay. 1% owned. They're probably going to need his scoring, especially when Cade's off the court. So I don't hate him 1%. I don't currently have any, but if you like him, I maybe can switch that a little bit.
I have a few percents over on DK, and yeah, I have a few percents on FanDuel too. 5,200 and 5K. He's been awful, but at 1 and 3%, these are the kind of guys I want to take shots on. And like I said, I'm building a lot of stars and scrubs today. I imagine the field is doing that too. If you want to take a little bit different of a lineup construction, you can go a little bit more balanced. Malik Beasley is one of the guys that can help you do that. And you can still fit in like Jokic SGA and not have to dumpster dive. Anything else on this game?
I think that's it. I'm not getting to Tim Hardaway, our favorite player.
Your favorite player. Projected for every day. This dude's point projection's like 11 points. Never does it. Does it sometimes. But next game, Chicago, Houston. We have an 8.5 point spread, 229.5 total. It's not terrible. We're without Io, Desunmu, Lonzo, and Josh Giddey. I guess Giddey's doubtful, so maybe he comes back the next game. We'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, the guys here, I'm actually a little surprised they're not more popular. I know their prices came up some, but Trey Jones and Kevin Werder, I kind of thought were going to be the chalk today. I'm over these 20% ownership numbers. What do you think about those two?
Yep, I still think they look great. They were super chalk 2 slates ago. Did get minor price bumps, but still great spots here for them. I particularly love Trey Jones here. 5,400, good price. Without Giddey here, I think he looks great. And then Herder, I'm not as high on, but he's still cheap enough where I think you can definitely get to him here.
Yeah, I guess on FanDuel, I'm with the field, 23 and 16 exactly almost. DK I am over, though. The pricing works out a little bit better. And then I want to take shots on Kobe White. He's been pretty great. 11.1 OF index is pretty strong. And do you guys remember that run when Kobe White kind of broke out last season? He's putting up 50 fantasy points every game. He's kind of on one of those runs right now. Maybe he can keep it up. I mean, they're missing guys. His minutes have been sky high. So I like taking shots on Kobe White, but I think Trey Jones and Kevin Werder are the priorities here.
Yeah, love that Kobe White call. He's been really good. I love him in tournaments.
The coach said something about they wanted Vooch to come off the bench for the foreseeable future. I don't think that even lasted a single game because he started yesterday, right? Or the day before, whenever they played. And so It's going to be weird with him and Zach Collins. Vooch, we have projected for 25 minutes. I don't think I can get there today. And then kind of the same thing with Zach Collins. If they're just going to split center minutes, there's just not enough minutes there. I'll say Zach Collins is 5,600, so foul trouble stuff. But I mean, if we're taking shots on these guys, I'd rather him be in the 4K range.
Yeah, I don't have any Collins today. It's kind of a price thing for me.
It's one of the worst rated plays on the model, but I'm getting some Patrick Williams. He's 3,500 on DraftKings, small forward, power forward, 4% ownership. I mean, I'm not getting 4%. I have 2%, but he's in there. 3,500. He helps. Go to the other side of this game, Houston, where without Amon Thompson, then Tari Eason's going to take a break after putting up 50 yesterday, 50 fantasy points. Went off, but that does open the door for more Jabari Smith Jr. minutes. We have him projected for 32. It's pretty strong. He's a top value on this team at 49 and 5,300. I guess Sengun is super popular on FanDuel. I called him boring the other day, and again, he is a boring play. Like, he just rates out well enough that we're interested in playing him. But let's talk about tell me about Sengun first. What are you doing at center?
Yeah, so Sengun, I like that play. I mean, the way you phrase it, he's boring. He typically gets around value around his price, so I think he's fine. He's in a great spot here, I think, in tournaments. So against Chicago, fast-paced game, good overall total here. So I like him in tournaments. I can't say I like him more than Jokic and Giannis up top, but I think he makes sense at his price. And then Jalen Green's the guy I actually like here the most. 9%. I think this spot fits Jalen Green perfect in tournaments. I love Mr. Green here in tournaments.
Yeah, I was pretty interested in Jalen Green yesterday, and it's like if you hit any of these 7K guys I went off for 50, you had a pretty good chance of taking down. His price came up slightly, 75 and 7,400, projected for 35 minutes, but there's no Amen. Fred VanVleet is back, so maybe that cuts it a little bit. But Fred VanVleet, I don't know if I've seen a player fall off harder than him this year. It's really unfortunate to see. But it does open the door for Jalen Green. Elite OF index for his price and elite value on both sites at 9 and 12%. This is a guy that we want to play today. What about Dylan Brooks showing up as the second value on this team? I guess third value if we're counting Steven Adams. But behind Jabari Smith, Dylan Brooks looks really good. Actually, the top value over on FanDuel. 9 and 14%. I don't hate it. I'm getting there a few percent. Not quite at this projected ownership, though.
Yeah, I think he's a solid 9% owned, 5K. Don't love the price, but I think he makes for a good tournament play at that ownership.
I don't know. It's against Chicago. Dylan Brooks usually plays pretty heavy minutes. We haven't projected for 34. And so, model.
I think we lost Chuck, guys. I think he froze. Let me refresh here. There you go. Are you back?
Yep. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know. It's got to be me. It's probably me. But Jabari Smith, were you interested?
Yeah, I think he's solid. 4,900, good price. Projected for 32 minutes. I think he looks okay at his price. I was getting just around the field here in my first round of exposures as well. So not a guy I'm like in love with here, but good price, good game environment. I think he's fine. Do you have a different take than me?
I like him. I'm not getting a ton of him, but he's going to be a big part of what I'm doing on DK at least. And then I just want to mention again, Sengun over on FanDuel, elite value. And so we call him boring. Don't take that as us saying you shouldn't play him. He's 9,100. Like, that's a good price for him. 27% is kind of high, but the price is very good. And we like targeting guys against Chicago. Had a couple questions in here. Yeah, is Mo Bamba starting? I don't think so.
I don't think so, no.
They have Kellyo. You should be back in there. And then they're comfortable starting Makovich, so I think that's what they would do.
Yeah, definitely Makovich.
You like the Pelicans and Spurs game? Yeah, I like it too. These are like two sneaky teams that I don't know if people realize how high the totals are, just how high fast paced these two teams play. There's a lot of fantasy points to go around. Yeah, and the Houston versus Chicago. Yeah, we really like Chicago. And Houston, they got some guys that we can get to today.
For sure.
Our minutes prediction on Kellyo. I'm assuming it's probably going to be slightly high. I was looking at Kellyo's prop lines earlier, and I thought they were all slightly high, which I mean, we have him for 26 minutes, so maybe he actually plays close to 26 minutes coming back. There's no Missy, and so that opens up some stuff. The rotation's going to be something like a Linux, Makovich, and Mo Bamba down there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Jeremiah Robinson Earl, we have for 17 minutes. He'll get some run in there too. But Kelly O at 26 minutes, he's showing up as an elite value on both sides. He is pulling the ownership, as is Makovich. But yeah, I think we can get there. Is this the next game? No, not quite. Jalen Green or Kobe White on FanDuel. Well, Kobe White's up here. Jalen Green's a little lower. For FanDuel, Jalen Green 14 value, Kobe White 14.6. So almost the same ownership. Model does have Kobe White by a hair, though.
Yeah, they seem very like close together for me.
Favorite chalk value. The second part of your question is a good one to ask me. What's my least favorite chalk value? I've been pretty good at that. But as far as playing the chalk, I think my highest exposed player has failed 8 days in a row. So if you consider Jared Butler failing yesterday. You have a good answer here, Jayhawk? Favorite and least favorite chalk value?
I think my favorite would probably either be Alvarado or Castle, and then least favorite, I'm gonna say Malkovich, just because I don't know between him and Kelly O who projects better. So maybe Malkovich.
I don't have this. I don't have a strong fade yet. I'm under the field on Marcus Smart. I can tell you that, but his price is pretty cheap, so I don't want to say like just don't play him like we did last time. Chalk value, I'm over on is Jose Alvarado easily. I'm assuming he starts though.
I agree. Yeah.
And then Keldon, Trey Jones, Kevin Werder, Hawkins, Jaime Jaquez. Over on all those guys. These players quit, get paid, and then quit. Yeah. Trade that bum Van Vliet for a bag of chips. Rude. OS though, I'm glad you're here. I misunderstood your question the other day about our live before lock show. You're trying to get in our Discord Q&A. The instructions for that are in the description below. If you need help there, message one of us. Jayhawk's usually the Discord guy, so he'll set you up there.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next game, Miami and Memphis. I think this is a pretty good game too. I think the total's pretty decent for it being Miami 227. I guess Memphis is 7-point favorites. Yeah, Jaw's been on fire, but we got Jaime Jaquez, top of DK value, top of FanDuel value, projected for mega chalk. This is definitely assuming he starts. He's only at 28 minutes. I think that's a fine minutes projection. If we give him any more, he's just going to show up in every single lineup. So what did you want to do with Jaime Jaquez?
Yeah, we talked pre-stream, but I think for me, I'm probably just playing him over the field here. Just too cheap on DraftKings and FanDuel. High minute projection. Assuming he starts here, I think he looks awesome.
Yeah, I mean, so if we're going to box score watch right now for a moment, he played 31 minutes against Boston yesterday. 25 fantasy points. This is fine. I'm going to be honest. I'm slightly disappointed if this is what he puts up in my large field tournaments today, but like this doesn't kill our lineup. We want him to put up a little bit more. He's been pretty bad. And so I think the ownership is actually a little bit high. I'm still getting there. Where am I at? Jaime Jaquez. I have 40% right now on DraftKings. He's projected for 42, so I guess I am with the field on Jaime. I don't know. Model says he's elite. I think we just listen to the model. 28 minutes. If he ends up getting a few more, he's going to show up even stronger.
Yeah, I agree.
As for the rest of Miami, I guess Duncan Robinson is kind of a pivot, even though he's a little bit more expensive. That's one guy that could directly cut into Jaime Jaquez's production and playing time. I still think Andrew Wiggins' price is good, and then I always want to take shots on Tyler Herro under 9K. What about you?
Yeah, so pretty much on the same page here. Love Wiggins in tournaments. Like I've been playing him around this sub 6K price point. Good matchup, high minutes, and then Tyler Hero. Also great spot here. 13% owned. I do have a decent amount more of Wiggins, but I think Hero's fine to mix in as well.
Yeah, not getting too much, but against Memphis, I think that this is a team that we want to play Tyler Herro against.
Definitely. We just saw Garland Newcomb last night, so
Trying to see if there's anything else on this bench. I mean, I guess I didn't talk about Bam 9100. It's okay. I don't love him when he gets over 9K. Ownership is reasonable. Model says we can probably just stay away today though for the price.
yeah, it's just a price point thing. It's a good spot here, but I don't love the price.
Other side of this game with Memphis, yeah, Jaw's been on fire recently, man. Back up to 9,500 on DK. I didn't get any over there, but 8,700 on FanDuel. We can still take shots. I mean, if you want to overpay for him on DK at 1%, I do think that's okay because if he puts up that ceiling, really helps you take down a tournament. Model saying we don't quite have to though. On FanDuel, he's a good play. Desmond Bain 0 and 1%. Even though the price is up, I definitely want to take shots. And Jaren Jackson's back 0 and 1%. I'd rather go to Bain here, but what do you think?
Yeah, so I loved Jaw yesterday in tournaments against Cleveland. Super high total. I think today he looks fine, 1% owned, but with the combined price and matchup against Miami, I don't love him here. So I don't have very much on DraftKings today. And then Desmond Bain is kind of on the same page there. I don't have very much Bain. I don't have very much from this team in general. Maybe I should switch that, but yeah, I don't love anyone here in particular.
What about from the value? I'm getting a little chunk of Scottie Pippen and Brandon Clark on DK.
Yeah, I think that's where I'd probably go to. Scottie Pippen in particular, probably be my favorite here. 3,700 is too cheap.
Got an interesting comment in the chat here from oh, my comments aren't loading on. I'll just have to read it out loud. We got Donbla thinking that Ja doesn't play today. It's an interesting one. He's still Q, right?
Yeah, he's questionable.
Yeah, Ja's still Q. The only for sure out is Santi Aldama, and then Vince Williams is Q2. So let's say Ja Morant misses, then I imagine Bain's ownership is going to go up. JJJ is going to go up. I think the guys, I mean, obviously we're going to want to get to Scottie Pippen at 3,700, mix in Luke Kennard. Depending if he starts GG Jackson, but I'd rather just get to the guards, I think, if Ja ends up missing.
Yeah, Scottie Pippen, if Ja did say it, would become super, super good on DraftKings.
And then I wanted to jump back to Houston because the douche had a really good question in here about Cam Whitmore. And so I guess I ignored him because the model kind of thinks he sucks today. Projected for 13 minutes, 0% ownership. He's 3,300 on DK. The thing is, Fred VanVleet is back. They are without Amon. They're without Tari Eason. I don't know if they're going to go. They could go small against this Chicago team. And so Cam Whitmore could play in like a 4-guard lineup with maybe 3 guards with Jabari and Sengun. Were you thinking about Whitmore today?
Yeah, I think that's actually a super sharp call. I think in like terms of like playing time, I think he's going to look better. But in terms of DFS, I wasn't really planning on getting to any. But yeah, I mean, he's probably going to play more. I just didn't have any currently.
This is a pretty sick pivot to Jaime Jaquez. I mean, points per dollar, the model thinks he's half as good, Cam Whitmore, but like that's a sick pivot, dude. 45% to 0% owned pivot. I have him projected to where he's just barely not making it into my lineup. So if I gave him like 3-4 minutes, which is definitely possible for him to play into a few more minutes, he like just barely doesn't make the cut. I might try and get a few in there though. I like that call, douche. That's a deep one though. We have a lot of strong value today, so don't think that you have to go there.
Yeah.
Minimum Pelicans today? Oh man. I wasn't thinking about that. Were you thinking about minimum Pelicans today, Jayhawk?
No, I have a lot of Pelicans, no minimum though.
I can tell you just scrolling through my top 10 lineups, I have 2 Pelicans in every single one. Like exactly 2, not 0, 1, or 3. My 10th lineup has 3 Pelicans. All the rest have 2. Mixing up with Makovich, Kelly Olynyk, Trey Murphy, Jose Alvarado. Looks like I'm just mixing up a bunch of them.
Yeah, I have around 2 in most of my lines as well.
Is 3 Rockets too many for a GPP? And game theory wise, probably not. Really depends on who the 3 are. Maybe if it's like, I don't know, Dylan Brooks, Jabari Smith, and Jalen Green or Sengun, it's not too bad. But I probably wouldn't look at my lineup with 3 Rockets in it and be a fan.
Yeah, in terms of like roster construction, I wouldn't love getting to 3, especially if it was like Green and Sengun.
Got Unicorn Love finished 4th in the $3 on FanDuel, dude. Good stuff, man. You made good decisions, so shout out to you for that one. Hallie. Got a question about Hallie. Let's talk about Indiana and the Bucks in this next game. We got a 3.5 point spread, 235.5 total. Halliburton burned me so bad yesterday. He didn't super fail, but he's in all my best lineups, and I really needed him to do more. Model thinks he's okay. Points per dollar value, not grading out as elite. I do like point guards against the Bucks when Damian Lillard plays, so I do like giving him a little bit more. I'm over this 4% on DraftKings. I'm getting a few percent of Pascal, and that's it from this team. What about you?
Yep, pretty much the same here. I have a sprinkle of Hallie. You mentioned it. Good spot here for cards against Milwaukee. And then I wanted to get some Turner, 1% owned. I just wasn't landing on there today. So I had like a sprinkle of Hallie, and that's about it.
It's like Miles Turner shows up as a top value on this team every day. It's Thomas Bryant on DK today. It's 17 minutes, but point still stands. Miles Turner, borderline elite value on both sides on 1% and 2%. We can always take shots. Doesn't have to work out that often for it to be a good decision. I did have exactly one lineup out of my 150 with Miles Turner on DK, so he's just barely not making it in.
Love it.
On the other side, though, Milwaukee, Smitty talks about some of these guys. Jordan Hawkins, KPJ. He called KPJ last time. He went off. I don't think he ended up getting there himself, but he's projected for 0% ownership. He's still 3,700. This dude put up like 35 fantasy points in 13 minutes or something ridiculous. I don't know what he finished with, but he smashed. And so were you considering KPJ as another deep pivot?
I don't think he's crazy, especially since he's 1% owned. In 17 minutes, we haven't projected for. At his price, he could definitely get there. So I think he's a fine pivot. I don't know how much I'll get to, but he's obviously a great producer. Like
I got 3% in my initial run, and I kind of want to give him another minute or two and get a little bit more. He's showing up as elite value on DK. No one's playing him. Like, don't go crazy. You don't have to play a ton. If you just have a few in your exposures, that's probably good. Torian Prince, a little surprised he's not pulling a little bit more ownership. I know we have a lot of options today, but he's been playing really heavy minutes. Price is fine, I guess. 1% and 3% owned. I don't mind getting there. Model thinks he's elite value, so I think we want to get over the field. I'm just going to be over on Brook Lopez probably every single day for the rest of his career because he smashes and still no one gets there, so his price doesn't come up. And then Giannis at the top. It looks like I'm paying more for Jokic and SGA, but I am getting to a healthy chunk of Giannis. Just going to pull up. You getting to Dame?
I actually don't hate Dame. I'm getting to a bunch of Giannis in tournaments. I have like 35% on DraftKings. I think he looks like in a great spot here in tournaments. And then Dame, if you're not getting to Giannis, I think makes for a great play as well. 9,200. And then the Brook Lopez call, 6% owned. I love that shout, especially center isn't necessarily fantastic today. He nuked Indiana last time out. I love that Brook Lopez call.
I'll mention I didn't realize he shot 8 for 9 and 9 of 11. Luckily, he still put up some other stats, so he wasn't completely dependent on scoring. But yeah, that's kind of insane that he shot that well. Anything else on the Bucks? I mean, I can't believe we're not even talking about Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah, Kuzma's fine, 5.9K. I wasn't getting to any at all, but he's 1% owned. He has the ceiling.
Does he? His usage is so low. Like his usage is lower than my usage would be on this Bucks team right now.
I feel like he does. It's a high total, but I wasn't getting there.
Yeah, it's not bad. The next game, this is a fun one. Pelicans and Spurs. Yeah, top of value on DK. Keep in mind the minutes when we're looking at top of value. Kelly, 26, Makovich, 27, Mo Bamba, 19. These are the three top values on this team, followed by CJ Jose. Jordan Hawkins not grading out that well today, projected for 24 minutes. I'm getting exposure to almost everyone on this team. What do you like here?
Yeah, so I think we both mentioned that we both love Alvarado here. So he's kind of obviously the chalk piece we like. And then I'm getting a bunch of both Kelly Olynyk and Trey Murphy. I think they both look great here. My odd man out was actually CJ McCollum. I'm not getting as much as I thought I would. Did you have a different take here with CJ?
No, it's funny that you mentioned that, though. I have 10%, I guess. So I'm half the field.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I mean, he went off last time, right? After, I think Nick called him out that, hey, we should probably get the CJ. His price is rock bottom and he's low owned. He's pulling ownership today. 6,700, the price is still good, but I guess it's just not good enough for me to jam in. Model thinks he's elite, though, by every metric, so.
Yeah.
Mo Bamba, man. This full Smitty was talking about Mo Bamba. He had a good lineup with him. Last time he put up at 15. Played 26 minutes. I mean, the 26 minutes we like to see. 15. It's not quite what we want, but if he has potential to get 26 minutes, I'd like to think he just underperformed. Mo Bamba's projected for 16 and 8% ownership. I think it's fine. two centers on DK at 3,200.
I like it. He's so cheap. I mean, even if he plays 20 minutes, he's a good producer. So I'm definitely going to mix him in pretty heavily.
I'm trying to I know I want to set a rule max one of Mobamba and Kelly Olynyk. I'm trying to decide if I want to include Carlo Makovic in that because I'm seeing a lot of lineups with Matko and Kelly Olynyk, and they're probably going to share the court a bunch, but it still feels kind of uncomfortable. And so I might just do max one between those three big men since we have a lot of other options on the slate.
Yeah, I think in terms of like reaching the ceiling to win a tournament, I think maxing one is pretty sharp there.
And then the highest owned guy on this team is Jose. I'm well over this 36%. Assuming he's starting, 4,500 is probably the incorrect price. We have him for 26. Again, if he's starting, he probably plays a little bit more than that as long as he's not terrible. And then I was getting to a few percent of Bruce Brown, just under this 11%. Model doesn't think he's a good value. It never does. Projected for 26 minutes, though. If he actually gets to 26 minutes, Bruce Brown probably looks okay today.
Yeah, I think he's fine at his ownership. I have like 5% just to mix in, but I think he's fine. Model, you mentioned it, doesn't love him.
He could get 3 fantasy points in a start, so just keep that in mind. And then I guess no love for Trey Murphy anymore. Zion's out tonight. These are the days we want to play Trey Murphy. He's only projected for 31 and 28% ownership. I don't know if that came up. I had him for less ownership than that, but I'm getting a decent chunk. Not quite at this 30%, but I think he's a good tournament play. Model thinks he's fine.
Yeah, I just for some reason have way more Murphy than I do CJ. I don't know if it's like a 4 thing or what it is, but
Let's see. The model has CJ as a slightly better points per dollar value on both sides, so even higher OF index is pretty interesting at the lower price. We'll go to the other game, or the other side of the game, San Antonio. Man, people have been talking smack about my boy Devin Vassell. Stephon Castle just taking over games now, probably rookie of the year. Chris Paul's minutes, we still have no idea what to do with. What do you think about the Spurs?
yeah, so I think Spurs look pretty good here. I'm going to make sure I don't mess up his name again. Devin Vassell. I think he looks great here. 31% owned. I have more Castle once again here, but good price, good game environment. So, and then Stephon Castle, I think he's one of the best plays on the slate. Once again, here, I have like, this might be a hot take. I have like 50% Castle right now. I just think he looks awesome in this spot. So, that's kind of my take here from the Spurs. How about you?
Dang, 50% Castle. I didn't quite get there on DK. I'm curious if I did on FanDuel, though. No, not quite on FanDuel either. His price is still good, 6,200. I meant to ask this question yesterday. Just assuming Castle stays in the starting lineup, do you expect his price to be higher or lower in 2 weeks? And I'd be absolutely floored if his price was any lower than this. Like, if he's 7,200 in 2 weeks, we're probably still going to be interested in playing him. Projected for around 30 minutes. Usage is sky high. I mean, he didn't really do much else, but like Stephon Castle, I think he's a good play. I don't know that he's a guy I want to put my whole day on, though.
Yeah, and the thing with Castle, though, that I kind of think he's a little bit safer is he's a young guy, so he should get a little bit more run. Even if
Nothing is safe in March in 2025 in the NBA, Jayhawk. We've seen unbelievable nonsense happen.
that's true.
Yeah, even at that 7K on FanDuel, I was still getting a decent chunk of a Castle, so he's just kind of a building block guy, I think. I also want to get to Keldon Johnson. Model thinks he's okay for value. Doesn't stand out. It's not terrible. The ownership is really high, though. Wow. Keldon. Yeah, I'm actually over that on DK. The minutes should be there. Let's take a look at Keldon. Were you getting too much of him and maybe like Keldon Barnes or Sochan or anything?
Yeah, definitely Keldon. I have a decent chunk here, just kind of alongside Castle. I like them both. 4,700 is too cheap. He's been playing the minutes. Good matchup. Definitely like Keldon here.
Yeah, I don't know. Ownership's high, price is cheap, so this is actually probably appropriate for Keldon. I don't think it's terrible, but we do have pivots in Sochan and Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes should be the starter tonight.
Harrison Barnes.
Yeah, right. Are my comments going to show up? All right, I can't pull up comments on the screen. I'm just going to try to read them from here. Is Jokic a must jam? I don't think so. We have other pay-ups. Jokic is a good play, though, for sure. His Vegas lines were kind of insane today. Might be some of the highest I've ever seen for the points, rebounds, assists for him.
Yeah.
Hallie 8,900 on FanDuel. Milwaukee sucks against guards. Yeah, I talk about if Damian Lillard is playing, I like playing point guards against him. Hallie didn't super stand out today. on FanDuel. I mean, he's not quite elite value. I'm okay taking shots though. If this is your tournament play, we're going to play a lot of chalk, so you got to mix in low owned guys, take some risks. Pippen would be a lock. Yeah, Scottie Pippen would be probably in all my lineups if Ja gets rolled out.
For sure. Yeah.
Powers telling us the spread went up to minus 3.3.5 for Memphis since last night. That signals Ja will play. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, Hawkes looks good. He's going to be a key building block today. Olenek or Jabari, great content. Hey, great audience member, Craig. Appreciate you. Do you have a quick answer for that one? Olenek or Jabari, Jayhawk?
I think in cash games, probably Kelly O. I like Kelly O better overall, but Jabari's still in a great spot. So I probably put Jabari in tournaments, but I like Kelly O more.
Okay. The model and Jayhawk are in agreement. My reflex thought was Jabari Smith, but I mean, he's just slightly lower owned. Price is essentially the same. I feel like he has a higher potential to play bigger minutes. His fantasy points per minute is probably slightly lower than Kelly O, but yeah, model has Kelly O. They're not that far apart, though. It's not a snap decision that one of them's much stronger. Do we like Bruce Brown? Nope. If he's randomly starting late and he's going to come in 2%, then yes. Other than that, no. Curry Cat mini stack. I don't mind it. It's probably not an angle that a lot of the field is getting to today. I mean, were you getting too much of either of these two guys to begin with? This is the next game, Knicks and Golden State.
Yeah, I don't really have much of either. I think Cat would be the guy I'd get to more here, though. Obviously, no Jalen Brunson here. Good spot here, I think, for Cat. So I think Cat, you can mix him alongside Jokic and Giannis up top. But Curry, I wasn't getting too much. Are they playing in New York today?
No, they're in Golden State.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I wasn't getting to much Curry. Did you have a different stance otherwise?
No, I'm actually kind of surprised how little exposure I'm getting here. I'm glad that you asked this question, Chris Davis, because I don't know. I kind of like it. Cat showing up as almost as strong of a value as the other top OF index plays. He's not too far behind. Getting pretty decent ownership discount. We're getting a price discount. I've been wanting to get over on Cat. He's been so freaking bad though, even with Brunson out. It's really frustrating. I don't know if he's hurt or what, but he's not playing like the Cat that we expect. This should be a cake matchup for him. Even at the price, 9,900, he should be able to dominate this team. Draymond's going to guard Cat tonight. Come on.
Yeah.
I kind of like that though. This total is not super appealing, 229, 7-point spread, but they're low owned, and that's a combo that just a lot of the field's not going to get to. While we're on the Knicks, what else did you like from the team?
Yeah, so I'm getting like 5% Josh Hart. He's actually behind Cat. I think he looks good. Pretty like average total here overall, but Hart's a guy that can fill the stat sheet, especially without Jalen Brunson here. So mainly just Hart, not really getting too much else here.
Excuse me, sorry about that. Yeah, I thought I wanted to take shots on like Bridges and Anunoby, and I'm getting them a little bit. I think that's all they are there. All they are though is GPP shots. I will say OG is really strong value by the model, 7% owned. Sorry guys, I'm like dying. Something just went down my throat. Jayhawk, tell us about the Warriors.
Yeah, so Chris already mentioned it. I think Steph Curry probably the top overall play here. Pull him up here. Yeah, so Steph's 6% owned. I think he's fine. He's going to project out way less good compared to the other guards today. My favorite guy here, Chuck did mention him, is actually Draymond Green. 6% owned, 6,400. Should have the matchup against Cat Towns tonight. Getting to just sub 10% on Draymond Green here. So those two are kind of my favorite. Did you have a different take here, Chuck? I think you're muted.
Want you have to guys to listen to whatever, but Jimmy looks okay. He's not standing out in the model. No one's really standing out here. Draymond looks good on DK. I don't know. I'm getting a few percents. I think they're tournament shots, though. Like I said, if you want to mix them in, I'm not getting there much on my initial runs. I imagine the field won't unless they make some adjustments. So I saw something about Quentin Post. I really like Quentin Post as a player. 4,100. It's a shame he's center only. 4,300 on FanDuel, but 2% owned. Have you been paying attention to Quentin Post, man?
I have not since I think that one stream we mentioned him. I haven't been paying attention now.
It's like he's consistently playing 20 minutes. 20 fantasy points is not going to do it, but if he can get up there, I think he has it. 2%. I don't mind taking shots on this guy. I saw someone ask about him in the chat, too.
Yeah, I think he's fine. I wasn't getting there, but he's still cheap enough where he can get there in his minutes.
Jayhawk, which studs are you getting to the most? Everyone 10K or more. We'll throw Cat in that category.
Yeah, so pretty clearly at Jokic, I think we both love here. I'm getting obviously the most of Jokic. And then in my order, I'm getting more Giannis than I am SGA. But I think they both look great. And then I'm not getting to as much Sengun as the field is here. I just prefer the Jokic and Giannis up top.
Yeah, I have more Jokic than SGA and Giannis combined, but the order is like Jokic very clearly out in front, then SGA, then Giannis, then Cat, then Cade in that order. And that's actually the order I have him for fantasy points too. I have Jokic for 70 today, so I hope that works out.
Yeah, Jokic is by far the best.
Yeah, SGA is higher than him, but SGA is not playing 41 minutes. Not against Detroit, dude. So take away a few, and they probably have the same OF index.
I don't think SG has played like 41 and then
he just won't.
Yeah.
Like he checked in 2 minutes earlier in the fourth the other day against maybe it was against Denver or against a good team, and I thought that was about what we could expect. An extra 2 minutes on that last rotation, maybe an extra minute in that first half rotation. It just they don't have a reason to. They're so far ahead.
Yeah, they're good.
Craig likes Brook Lopez better than Miles Turner. Yeah, don't forget about Brook Lopez. We still like him a lot as a GPP play. Has Cat gotten 50 plus since Mitch Robb came back? Nope. I don't even know if he's gotten 40 plus, dude.
He's been bad, yeah.
Jayhawk, SGA and Quentin Post or Jamal and Trey Murphy?
I mean, I'm going to go the second combo just because I'm not very high on Quentin Post. So.
I'm going to go the first one because I am high on Quentin Post. Sorry, guys. It's just harder to catch up on the comments because our software is kind of freezing. Yeah, Jose, you want to skip the Chicago value? I don't think it's bad, dude. We have a lot of pivots today. And so, I mean, Trey Jones is number 5. We have 3 OKC guys in Miami. I'm pretty sure these OKC minutes are wrong. I'm not sure why the model's not updating this. But yeah, we have a lot of options today. And so if you find anyone at a lower ownership, like any reason to play them is fine. Yeah, Post didn't play much in the second half. That's the risk. We only have him projected for 20 minutes, though. So even if he misses that last rotation in the fourth quarter, he still will hit 20 minutes. And as we saw, he got up to 25. So if he gets that last rotation, that's really, really key. Would you try and play Giannis and SGA in the same lineup, Jayhawk?
I think you can. I don't think it's like you have to do that, but I think we have enough value. I think you could probably make it work.
Don's got a fun one. Isaiah Stewart or Mo Bamba?
Ooh. I'm getting more Bamba, but Stewart, he was projecting kind of good from earlier. So I'm going to say Bamba, but I think it's kind of close.
I'll just say Mo Bamba. Model thinks he's a lead value on DK anyway. John Morant's a game time decision. Castle and White or CJ and Jalen Green? I think those are both pretty good. That's kind of a coin flip for me.
Who's White? Am I tripping?
I'm assuming Kobe White.
Kobe White, okay. Yeah, I would say the first one.
Can we sort by ownership? Got you, ZA. For the cash build. Spurs defense was awful yesterday. It's going to be awful going forward. I don't know if people are like they have to be calculating it with defense when Wemby's off the court, but they're not great with the team they have right now. Powers fading Curry, so he's going for 50 real points. Keep that in mind, fellas. Is Sengun the second best option at center after Jokic? If you're not going for value, then yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Kobe White's available today. Jokic, Giannis, or SGA? Jose's asking. I have Jokic as the top play in the world, so I'm going to say Jokic. Model has SGA, but again, minutes are wrong.
Jokic.
Power said Post is 1,100 too expensive. He's better than a min price guy, dude. If he was a min price guy, I'd be losing my bankroll on him almost every day. I want to finish this last game before we get to these last questions. Great questions, guys. Really appreciate you guys showing up on the Saturday. Jayhawk, tell us about Washington. What were you looking at here?
Yeah, so Washington, just to be straightforward, I don't have very much of anyone here. maybe Champagne. I think he looks like the best. 24% on FanDuel, 8% on DK, but I don't know if I have a single exposure here to Washington. How about
Dude,
you?
I've been hyping up Alex Sarr every day. He's still only 4 and 6% owned. I'm going to look at him actually kind of better than I look at Brook Lopez. I think his ceiling's maybe the absolute ceiling isn't as high as Brook Lopez, but he's going to hit that mid range ceiling a little more often, if that makes sense. But Alex Sarr, I want to take shots on. Model thinks he's elite today, so thankfully he's model approved. Champagne, though, I thought the ownership was a little low on DK, but now I kind of understand why it's that low. On FanDuel, I'm not quite at the 24%, but I'm getting a decent chunk of exposure and then just sprinkles of all the rest of the guys. Chris Middleton, Kaishan George, Corey Kispert, Carrington, and even Marcus Smart. Anything else on Washington?
No, I think you nailed it. I do like the Alex Sarr. I didn't even consider him, but with Jokic, they probably want him out there, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I saw someone ask about Rashawn Holmes too. It's just the price is kind of not appealing. Not to say he can't get there, but it just I think the chances of him doing it are just way too low. And I'll mention Jordan Poole's value is super low today, but it's only a 12 point spread. If this game stays within 12, someone here has to help keep the game close. Especially, I told you I have Jokic for a crazy prediction, so I don't think this game blows out. I'm probably going to have to adjust this and get a few more percents, but I do like Sarr and Champagne. He's the easy one.
Yeah.
As for the rest of Denver, you guys know I love Jokic getting a ton. Also getting a decent amount of Russell Westbrook, Jamal Murray, MPJ. Christian Brown's probable. Jamal Murray is questionable. If Jamal Murray ends up being out, then yeah, we're going to like Russell Westbrook a little bit more. But Aaron Gordon's still questionable. If he's out, I'm going to get to Christian Brown a little bit more. What else do you like with Denver?
Yeah, so you nailed it. I have a bunch of Jokic, and then I already have a bunch of Westbrook. I think he's a really sharp tournament play, especially if Jamal sits here. I think Westbrook's going to look fantastic. So Jokic and Westbrook probably the main two. And then if Jamal plays, I think he looks fine at his price. But with how much Jokic I'm going to have, I probably won't have as much of a Murray here.
Yep. Yep. It's about where I'm at. I mean, like I said, I'm not getting very little exposure to the other guys. I'm over 10% on Russ and Jamal as it is right now. If those guys get ruled out, and then Peyton Watson snuck into a lineup of mine, maybe if if you're desperate for value at the end of the night, someone gets ruled out, that could be a possibility. Or if you're playing the night slate or showdown.
Yeah.
Try to get you out of here, Jayhawk. You got the Discord starting in just a moment. No, I guess as soon as we're out of here, right?
We're good.
Denver played down to a no LeBron or Luka Lakers, so Washington may stay in it. Shit, dude, Washington might blow them out. FanDuel top values, you got it. Aaron Wiggins, Lou Dort, Jaime Jaquez. So with the OKC guys, I'm almost certain these minutes are too high. So just take away a little bit from all the OKC guys because that's wrong.
And Wiggins is out now too, so they're even one more player down.
Okay, yeah, Jayhawk, you'll have to give him the update in that Discord Q&A. Giddy's already out. Alex Caruso, he's like my last option on this team. Is Caruso in? I don't know. He's not in the model. We'll see. Thunder starting SGA, Kason Wallace, Lou Dort, Kenrich Williams, and Hartenstein. Let's take a quick look at Kenrich. I saw a comment about him too. 18 minutes. I can't imagine this is updated for him starting. Maybe we give him another couple of minutes. I think he would go up a little bit, but I'd be really surprised if Kenrich was showing up as elite. With that said, he's 3,500 power forward on DraftKings. Do you think he's worth taking any shots?
I think he's fine. Only 18 minutes. I feel like the rotation, like I still feel like they have a couple of forwards they could throw in there as well. So I think he's fine, but not a guy I'm probably going to jam.
I would say check the ownership in a few minutes, and if he stays 0% owned, I don't mind getting a few percent. If he pulls any kind of ownership, though, I feel like we have a lot of options for value today.
For sure.
Powers into K. Williams. Okay, I think that does it. Let's build a quick dummy. Jayhawk, fire off your favorite guys today.
Jokic and Alvarado and Hawkins.
Yep. You say Hawkins?
Hawkins, sorry.
No. Hawkins. I was going to say, okay, going deep. I don't hate it.
No Hawkins.
How do you spell Jaime Jaquez? There's no C. Leaves us already only 5,800. Let's see what's my top lineup. Trey Jones, Kevin Werder, Champagne, Jabari Smith. Any of those guys you want to put in here? I think I have to change all my stuff now.
Yeah, I think Trey Jones out of that group probably my favorite.
Let's go for Trey. Trey Jones.
You want to try to get a Spur in here, maybe?
Yeah, which one?
I would say one of Castle or Vassell, but that's up to you.
Let me just double check that ownership on these two. I'm gonna go whichever one's lower owned. I think it's Vessel though. Vissel. No, they're actually pretty much the same. Flip a coin. Let's go with. We'll do Castle since he's a shiny new toy. I guess I feel like Castle's going to come in higher owned though because of that reason. He's a shiny new toy. Vassal's kind of boring, but Vassal's good. I like getting to Vassal. You got a cheap power forward on deck.
Let's see. Should we go? Should we go a long guy here? Maybe like a Jabari Smith.
I say Keldon, Jabari, or Kellyo. Keldon, Jabari, or Kellyo.
That's tough. I'm gonna let you choose one.
Yeah, we have some options here. Champagne is in the same range. Dylan Brooks, Jabari Smith, Aaron Gordon's there. I think is a fine pivot. Keldon Johnson, Makovich. Yeah, power forward. We're probably paying down for it. Looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that has something to do with why I'm not getting as much Giannis as well. I'm just going to plug one of these guys in. You can plug in anyone. We'll put Kellyo since he's top of the model. Actually, let's try plugging in one more and see what that gets us in util. Let's throw in Jabari Smith, 7,600. Gets us Kobe Wyatt or Trey Murphy, Jalen Green.
Love that. Perfect.
So it's a mix and match. There's going to be a lot of chalk, so just make sure you're not playing the pure chalk. Find some pivots, mix in a couple lower-owned tournament plays. Play a lot of Jokic, probably.
Definitely.
Memphis is retiring Tony Allen's jersey tonight, so they think Jaw's going to want to play. Love that for you. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit the like and subscribe on your way out. It really helps us out. We'll be back tomorrow. Jayhawk's going to be in the Discord if you want to join that. Instructions are in the description below. See you guys. Thanks.
Thank you guys. Good luck.